The Cold War era was a breakthrough time for anti-aircraft warfare. AA weapon systems started utilizing radars and other sophisticated gadgets to become even more effective at hunting down aircraft. In War Thunder, SPAA vehicles of the era are mainly found at mid to high ranks of the ground forces tech tree. Their main responsibility is to keep the sky clean of subsonic and early supersonic aircraft. Today we're going to talk about the most interesting of the bunch. The first vehicle on our list is the Swedish Vagn Eldledning Automatkanon 40. Engineers at Bofors took the STRV-103 chassis and fitted it with a turret with two 40mm L70 cannons and a Marconi Series 400 radar. The latter is definitely not the most impressive part of the vehicle, though. It has a rather poor range of only 12 kilometers, and it can't detect other targets if you're already tracking one. At the same time, the vehicle has other things going for it, namely good mobility and decent armament. If you land a good hit, your high-explosive shells simply delete enemy aircraft, and your AP rounds are capable of piercing the side armor of Western and even Soviet MBTs. The American M247 Sergeant York, based on the M48 Patton tank, has roughly the same armament but features much more robust tools for detecting and tracking targets. This SPAA vehicle, developed by Ford Aerospace, has a 45-kilometer detecting and a 15-kilometer tracking range. Thanks to the fact that it's effectively equipped with two radars, one for detecting and one for searching, the M247 can do both at the same time, making this SPAA the true bane of Rank 6 planes and helicopters. Many Western SPAA systems are armed with the Swiss 35mm Ehrlichen autocannons. Two most notable examples are the German Gepard and the Finnish ITPS-V90. The German SPAAG is based on the Leopard 1 and has everything an SPAA system might ever need on the battlefield. Its radar system tracks aircraft at medium range, its highly mobile chassis allows the player to be very proactive in combat, and its ammo belts are highly versatile. The Finnish variant is basically a marksman turret system fitted with two Ehrlichen cannons and mounted on the chassis of a Leopard 2. As a result, the vehicle features composite armor and a 1,500 horsepower engine. On the other hand, the ITPS V90 is equipped with the S400 radar, with all of its flaws that you're already aware of. The Soviet Yenisei is one of the earliest SPAA vehicles that featured a radar fire control system. Despite its pretty narrow scanning area and slow scanning speed, the Yenisei's radar is a pretty good deal at its BR. As it shares a hull with the Su-100P, the Yenisei is also pretty mobile. Furthermore, your belts are quite versatile and fairly effective against any opponents. The failings of the Yenisei, like its mediocre stabilizer, are very apparent at first glance. But overall, it's still a very effective vehicle with a lot of firepower. Sistema Italiano Difesa Aerea Mobile, simply known as SIDAM-25, is an Italian SPAAG based on the American M113 APC. Four Ehrlichen KBA cannons have enough destructive power to easily swat any aircraft you see from the sky. But there's a high price to pay for this kind of strength. First, the SIDAM is not equipped with a radar. Instead, it's fitted with a humble optronic tracking system. Second, your quartet of guns eats through ammo extremely fast. The French AMX-30 DCA is armed with a couple of non-stabilized 30mm Hispano-Suiza automatic cannons. Just as with the SIDAM, the sheer firepower of this armament makes up for most flaws of the vehicle. Not to mention that the AMX-30 chassis provides it with an excellent level of mobility, on par with the German Gepard. Finally, we simply have to mention the Chinese WZ-305, a variant of the Soviet ZSU-57-2. It's a highly mobile vehicle with a massive open-top turret and two powerful 57mm guns, a combination that's very familiar to any experienced SPAA player. It's important to note, though, that the Chinese variant has one distinct advantage. it has access to the DKY-1 airburst HE shell. In the hands of a good shot, this round can decimate any target in the air. On the other hand, with this vehicle, your gun traverse speed is on the slower side and you get no radar. But that's about it. No other complaints. Obviously, there are a lot of other Cold War SPAA vehicles with interesting traits. After all, it was the second half of the 20th century when a lot of legendary AA systems were first introduced, many of which are still in service to this very day. What are your favorite SPAAGs of the Cold War era? Share your opinions in the comments below.